Hey folks, my name is Jürgen, aka Nerd and Proud of It, and Destiny has brought you to my channel today to enjoy a talk between me and the guys from Cardboard Guide, or do I have to say guys and girls, or guy and girl? Yeah, it's a bit. I always say guys, even if there are girls in the room. It's just a habit. Welcome on my channel this time. Last time we did it at your place. Now it's my place. Maybe it's a good idea to introduce yourselves to the viewers.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Should I start?
Yep.
I'm Jens, and I'm 50% of the Cardboard Guide, and I'm the deck brewer and the magic playtest nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm Sophie, and I do a lot of the social media for our channel and just communicate with the community and hang out in the Discord. And I also do the other half of the playing, both in sorcery, magic, fab, all that good stuff.
So normally my wife always says she's the better half. Is that the same case with you guys? You're the better half,
Naturally.
Sophie? Yeah,
Naturally.
definitely. But we're used to it, Jens, right? So
Yeah,
that's definitely okay. Hey, it's good to have you on, and I love the talks. I love the talk last time on your channel. Great channel as well. That's very arrogant, right? No, I didn't mean it that way. Of course, great channel as well. Same as mine. Also great. Also great. Sounds a bit no, but I really love the channel. And when we were thinking about what to discuss, we were thinking about some things we were talking about recently. So today we are actually discussing if set collecting is still a thing or if it's dead, and what kind of sets you are collecting, what kind of sets I am collecting. Does it still make sense to collect modern sets? These kind of things. Do you still collect sets? Big question right at the beginning.
Yeah, but let's just dive right into it. Well,
Yeah.
no, actually not. I think that you have had a history of collecting some sets, or at least trying to. I never really collected. I was more of a player in like the early Magic days. But I never think we're going to maybe collect like entire sets. What we've done lately for some of the newer sets is that we collected maybe part of it. Like the Brothers War, we collected the retro artifacts, like both the schematic and non schematic versions. And we've also just recently, for Wilds of Eldraine, collected some of the Enchanting Tales and want to complete the entire bonus sheet there. But
Okay.
entire newer Magic set is like it's no longer a possibility for us to collect because of the variants.
Yeah.
There's too many cards.
I agree. I had a look at, for example, Kaldheim, which would be a set I would be interested to collect, and I think with all the variants, it's about 1,000 cards.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I threw out that thought pretty quickly, I have to say. Um, does it then make sense to collect, maybe like you do, certain parts of a set with Eldraine and the fairy tale cards, or with Brothers War and the retro artifacts? Is that still as satisfying as having a complete set? Or is it more like, okay, you already know you can't complete it, then you at least focus on a part of it?
I actually think it's kind of satisfying.
Okay.
We had a little talk before logging on about why would we even do this, and well, we agreed that maybe the biggest part of it is simply nostalgia and having this accomplishment that you have completed something. And I think we went all in with the retro artifacts because they had this old school feel to them. They looked like the artifacts from the olden days of Magic, and it was just really satisfying to get them all. Also because some of those that had the foil had the shooting star foil that was also really old school. So they had this old feel to it, and
Yeah.
that really appealed to me and also to Sophie, of course,
Yeah.
especially also with the retro artifacts that had the schematic versions. Um, I tried to collect more sets back in the day when I started, playing Magic. We tried to collect the entire set, and it was a bit eclectic because we tried to get, unlimited and revised and fourth edition, but we tried
Yeah.
to get all the white cards we possibly could. And we almost had all of them. We just needed a Blaze of Glory, and then would have the entire set in white. Um, and we thought that was a nice thing to do, but unfortunately, we were not able to buy the Blaze of Glory back in the day, and that actually also ended my Magic career at that point. So now starting up again, I have this great urge to get some of the old cards, and having some of the new cards seems really hard because we had a little look, and if you look back at the 97, 98 Wrath Cycle, the Tempest block,
Mhm.
there were three sets in Tempest block, one big set and two smaller sets, and the entirety of cards in those three sets were only 506 cards. If you look at the modern, Magic cycles, for instance, 2002, rubbish, 2022, you had Kamigawa Streets, Dominaria, and the Brothers War, and these four sets in total have 1151 cards. So
And that's even
even
without variants, I think, right?
yeah, that's
Or
without
is
the variants.
Yeah, that's
If
just
Yeah.
you
the
count the
basic
variants,
parts.
it's even worse. So
yeah, like I
collecting
said,
sets,
I checked Kaltheim and it was 1,000 cards on his own with all the variants. It was crazy. And Brothers War, and then you have the variants, and technically you have the serialized cards as well, which you
Yeah,
can't collect, of course, all of them. So yeah.
yeah,
No,
we
but
have given
that
up.
was a lot more convenient back in the day than to collect a
Yeah, it
complete
was
set.
fewer cards, and
it was doable back
yeah,
in the day. Also,
Yeah,
because you're really a completionist, you want to
yeah.
complete both the foil and non-foil versions and all the variants. That's not happening. And I mean,
No.
it's even interesting. I'm not certain. I don't think I don't have a passion for it. So right now we're collecting what we have a passion for, like these sets that we enjoy, the art variants. We also bought a lot of the Strixhaven Mystical Archives
Yeah.
because we just enjoyed that, style of art, the framework, everything. So I think what we're sticking to is the stuff that we're passionate about and that we enjoy looking at, and also have some really nice playable cards.
So you listened well to Blake, who says like you only should engage with the stuff you want to engage with.
But, but I think
No,
because
I hear you. I think I actually agree. It's definitely a good choice to at least collect the stuff you enjoy. I
exactly.
personally still like collecting and like collecting sets, but then mainly
yeah,
old sets. And like you said, if you look at the way of collecting, and if you look at how much more easy it was back in the day. One of the sets I have complete because I think I told that story before, and I'm gonna cut it short, not to make it too long, which I often tend to. But I was working at a Dutch distributor at the time, and I got the target, or let's say the Wizards of the Coast asked us to participate in sending in a deck from all the distributors, and the deck that would win against all other decks would be invited to the World Championship in Paris. And I think it was 2005, could be 2006 as well. I don't know. I have to look it up. And the set that came out at the moment we were allowed to build the deck with was Time Spiral, the
Ooh,
original Time Spiral. So I asked my boss if I could compete. So Wizards of the Coast asked if we could do that. Could I compete? Would be good fun because we're the best distributor, of course, because I'm the
yeah,
Magic guy. And he said like, sure, here you have a case. And open it all up and build a deck with it. So I opened up the whole case, and there was stuff in there like Sonic Blast with the time shifted cards and so on. And I hated it because it was reprinted, but still I built the deck. I think it was white blue with two Psionic Blasts I got in the case, and I actually won, and I was invited to the World Championship. But the bottom line is that with that whole case I opened afterwards, I got a lot of Time Spiral cards, original Time Spiral cards, and I put them in a binder to see what I have. And there was just one card missing, and that was the so with one case you could complete almost the whole set. And that one card, not a non-foil set, and I still had a lot of foils. There's one card missing. How's the blue land called? It's something like I think even Tolarian, not the Tolarian Academy, of course, but yeah, there's a blue land in there. It's about $15, so I bought it near mint as well. And then I even had all the time shifted cards. So so back in the day, it was a lot easier to complete a set. And nowadays, I wouldn't even dare, although I still like a couple of sets. I would like to tackle Kaldheim, like I said, or Brothers War, because I'm so much into antiquities. But it's too difficult. What makes you collect the sorcery cards then? Is it more overseeable? Is it more? Are you more able or easier able to think you can achieve that because there's just one set? If you consider non-foil, no variants at all, is that?
I think the fact is that the cards are limited. There's not a lot of variants.
Yeah.
We have a non-foil set, but if we get any foils, we put them in just to have them. So it's a mix between the
Exactly.
foils and non-foils because we enjoy those as well. But it's also a matter of the release and the pace. I know I'm not going to be disturbed in a week with a gazillion new sets. I know I'm not going to be flooded with a secret lair alert. I just know I have the time. There's plenty of space between sets to make sure that I can trade, I can collect, and I can enjoy it. I feel like with Magic, even if I collected something, it would just be another accomplishment in a week or a month away because there's a new set. It's kind of like a Sisyphus assignment to just keep on collecting set after set. And at some point, it just doesn't really feel that special anymore. With sorcery, it's the alpha set. It's beautiful art, and it's a massive set. So it's like 403 cards to collect. But because we know that beta isn't coming out until November, we've been trading, and we're pretty close. We're 4 cards away, and it just the art and the special feel of it just really we wanted to have the entire set to enjoy it and look at it.
I think
Very
that's
cool.
a good
I
point.
think
Also because well, it was really, it was nice, going to think about all this before we have our talk, because I think that's a really good point that back in the day you had more time to simply enjoy the sets. And I also think that the cards spoke more to you because you played with them for longer times and you tried to build different stuff. And you also bought, over time. You didn't just buy, one case or one display or whatever you just buy. And that was it. You bought 1 month and then the next month and the next month. And you bought the sets that really spoke to you. And I think that made this, special connection with some sets. And I think it's the same with sorcery because there's nothing new coming out. So if you want more sorcery, you're going to get more of the same. And that makes you, I think, enjoy it a bit more. Also because the release fatigue in Magic is just astounding at the moment. As I said before with the older sets and the new sets, if you look at the Wrath cycle, you had 3 releases in a year. If you look now with the 2022, you had 12 releases within the year, and 4 of these were standard sets. So a lot of
often those 3 releases were even connected to each other. So if you look at the Kamigawa block, that was one I went in heavily for. So because I just like the theme, and now we had a Kamigawa set with the new one, but still I think if there's like a little story to it, and you think like, I like this set, and then the smaller sets were like the bigger set was normally like around 300 cards, and the 2 smaller ones were around 150 cards each, like supplemental sets. I like that release window. So you could, even if you finished like the first set of 300 cards, then you could you could add saviors and betrayers to your collection as well, because it wasn't that big. So I like that even you could add a little extra to it after like 3-4 months. So that was pretty cool. But I hear what you're saying.
Like you still had those extra 3 or 4 months before you had to start thinking about it.
And also the sets were connected, so it felt like some sort of cohesion. There was some sort of cohesion between the sets that made collecting the next set seem like just a continuation of sorts, where now you're just jumping from Neon Dynasty to Street to Brothers War to
Yeah.
it's jumping all around story wise also.
No, very true. So there isn't like a real feeling to it. And on the other hand, you could say that if there are a lot of different sets, there's always one that will appeal to you, and you could collect that. But I hear you, and I think the same. Like I said, I like the blocks, and I like the release schedule, like a couple per year, maybe one extra set around Christmas or whatever. But in general, yeah. And even now with the different variants, it's so unsatisfying to have a certain card and like 3, 4, 5, and what was it, LS Norn, we said 16 variants.
Yeah.
And we had that example in our last video as well. Yeah, that's just not cool anymore. That's not really. Then you can, instead of focus on a certain thing like the artifacts or like a color or like the commons or the uncommons, which you could do for old sets, especially. I know people who just collect the commons from Alpha because they know, yeah, Alpha Black Lotus, unachievable, and Power 9. Let's focus on the commons. Those are already like 50 to $100, so that's quite an achievement. But now if you have a card that has 16 different variants, you can just focus on one card and maybe not even complete that because some of the variants are so rare.
Exactly.
It's
So what
totally
about
crazy.
you? Why do you still go back and collect some of the older sets? Because we were just talking about if we wanted to go back, we would love to maybe collect, I don't know, revised or unlimited.
Yeah.
But there is still some cost connected to it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the current Magic market, I don't feel like we have the excess capital to risk that everything tanks 50% during
Yep.
the next couple of years. So do you feel like it's financially secure? Because I'm not talking about investing and them gaining, value,
No,
but just staying stable. Do you
not
feel like
losing money.
that's a safe thing
No.
to do?
Yeah, just not losing money. No, I hear you. Personally, my answer right out of the gate would be no. I wouldn't trust Magic the Gathering at the moment. I trusted MTG for years, and looking back at my collection, I think even now I'm in the plus, and I'm not an investor. I'm a collector and a player. Does it really make sense to buy really expensive cards nowadays? I'm not sure. I buy one from time to time. For me, it's an extreme luxury, and I often sell parts of my collection to do so. So if some other things appreciate in value, I'm just buying stuff I like. So yeah, it's not that I'm investing or whatever, but I could sell a statue for maybe double the price I bought it for and buy a nice reserved list power card or whatever. And then you shift your collection around, and that to me makes sense. You're investing my own hard-earned money. It's a bit more difficult, but you can have fun collecting old stuff even without a lot of budget. Just over the last 3-4 years, I picked up an Alpha card here and there, and now I have about 12, 13 maybe. I think that's awesome, and that's my little Alpha collection, and I'm very happy with that. I completed the Antiquities collection. I was very proud of that, but that's simply because it's my favorite set, and I don't care if it tanks in value. I will always love that set. And the same goes now. I focus on, because the Antiquity set is complete, and I don't go for near mint. I don't go for graded. I just like light plate up, and I get the better condition if I can. But it doesn't have to be like high end for me, and that makes a lot of difference in price as well.
Yeah.
And you have to wait for certain times. Like now, the prices are very cheap. I wanted to buy a fourth Old Man of the Sea. We talked about it because I put out the video today, and that's actually a play set. So I collect play sets as well, which I really like, and that's a whole different story than set collecting. But and that one was like $600-$800, like just a year ago, and maybe 1.5 years ago. And then it dropped a bit, and it stayed a bit the same. And then the 30th anniversary came, and everybody lost faith. And now it's down to $240 for
Yeah.
a good old man of the sea, and I think I paid $247. So yeah, that's a lot of money, but some people go out for dinner every night, and some people buy an expensive bottle of whiskey for $100, and then another one in 2 weeks for $100. I don't do anything except for doing sport, which doesn't cost me anything, and buy Magic the Gathering cards. So yeah, that's my luxury. No, it's a bit. How do you say it? That's of course a bit sarcastic, but in general, that's actually the case. So just I like collecting old sets, and if I look at it, I only have Antiquities complete and Time Spiral complete because of the story I told you, and now I'm focusing on Unlimited, which I probably can't complete because there are still a couple of heavy hitters missing. I got lucky me, I got a lot of the old cards still, so I had them in a box, and yeah, even if it's just like a cool unlimited rare, that can be 150 to $200. If it's a Shivan Dragon, it's even more. If it's Stasis, it's 120 bucks. So yeah, that's a lot of money. But on the other hand, you can buy like a nice Northern Paladin unlimited for $40. That's two collector boosters. Yeah, it's an iconic piece of Magic the Gathering history. So I will always choose that Northern Paladin Unlimited. And if you want a beta, you maybe pay double, but then you got a nice black bordered orange card. Northern looks fantastic, I can tell you. So yeah, I can enjoy that. But yeah, that's how I look at it. It's not financially secure. Definitely not. I wouldn't put too much money in it if you don't have it, or if you can't finance it, like with parts of your collection or whatever, because we can't trust Wizards of the Coast at the moment, unfortunately. If you love it and it's worth it to you at the moment, like it is for me sometimes, that's okay. So yeah.
Actually, just remember that we have also been collecting some other stuff, actually.
Oh, I don't even know this, so I'm ready to
a big shoebox.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I bought a collection a while back containing a lot of revised cards, 4th edition cards, Fallen Empires cards. And it is not, I think I bought it for like 300 crowns. What's that? 70 euros or something like that. Maybe a little less. But it is actually appreciated kind of well, and I just really love to have those cards. And then we have went to our local LGS. They had a lot of old cards, a lot of rare cards from the Ursa block. Not worth anything, but we've just bought everything we could find. So we have a big collection of cards from the Ursa block and from 4th edition and from Revised and Fallen Empires. And we also bought maybe very close to a whole set of Weatherlight, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I also go ahead.
It can be relatively cheap if you look at it. If you compare it to modern prices. For example, if you look at, I bought I don't want to spoil it, but I bought one complete 4 Horsemen set, and everybody knows what it is, because if it's a complete set, it's either really expensive or it's the little stepchild. But I bought it for the price of like 2 Lord of the Rings collector booster boxes, and that's a low price, and maybe like 1 Lord of the Rings collector booster box at the high price. So I think like, I can buy a modern Lord of the Rings collector booster box, or I can buy like a complete set of the Dark, which is fantastic. And the same goes indeed, like you said, for Urza. Looking at Revised, it's not very expensive. There are some expensive cards like the Dual Lands and maybe Vesuvan and Brain Gazier and Fork and Fastbond and that's about it. I think a Tudor maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, maybe Birds of Paradise, but
birds are not even that expensive. They are under $10, I think, or like 12. Yeah. So that's definitely okay. And then you can complete almost a complete set of Revised, which is, of course, for most of us where it started. And look and feel is fantastic for not a lot of money. So I think there's still opportunity in collecting even old stuff. And then you're even not even talking like stuff like Tempest or Visions or Mirage that have one or two very expensive cards. Fallen Empire, which has appreciated in coolness quite well. It was
Yeah.
really a bad set back in the day, but looking at it now,
Such a bad set
it's
back in the day.
yeah, it was horrible, but yeah. And complete Fallen Empire set is like what, $250? It's maybe even cheaper. Why not? It's good fun. Ice Age as well, $400. That's a big set. It was one of the biggest at that time. I think around 400 cards as well. And there are some awesome cards with awesome arts in there. So
Yeah.
why not just skip 2 booster boxes and buy a set of Ice Age? So there's still, it's all relative. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be unlimited or beta or alpha.
Exactly, but there's definitely some cool stuff out there. And like I think the Weatherlight was actually just like an auction and nobody else was really interested. And we were like, okay, hey, let's scoop that up because that would still be
Sure.
fun. And maybe
Yeah,
we'll
definitely.
start collecting it. So yeah, I think we had some really good deals, especially post, pandemic hype when everything, sort of fading out. And a lot of people who didn't like for real enjoy the TCGs was just playing around with some stuff while everybody was home anyway. A lot of people then sold all of their stuff again,
Yep.
and I think we definitely picked up some nice stuff from that
Nice.
sale.
Yeah.
And you can
nostalgia, right? Yeah.
sorry?
Yeah, and it's all about nostalgia. It's like
Yeah,
trying to complete what you had when you were a kid that you just
exactly.
loved. And those cards, they just feel really special. I
Yeah,
become
definitely.
all giddy and happy every time I see Northern Paladin or Sarah Angel or even Banalic Hero. That's actually one of my favorite cards. I love that
It's so
card.
cool. Yeah.
Kruyderlaan.
Yeah, there's a reason like why an unlimited Lanois elf is about $10. People love it, and it's cool and it's playable. And if you have if you have 4 unlimited elves in your deck, it's just very cool. No, that nostalgia, that's what does it for me. And you can approach it very easily. Like when I did it with antiquities over 30 years, because I had a couple of cards, of course, still, and I had some high end cards as well. A lot of stuff like the Power Artifact and Transmute Artifact and these kind of cards. I had even play sets of, I think, even more for Power Artifact because I love that card. But you could buy the cheaper ones for like $2-3 and see how far you get. And then you can calculate at a certain moment what's the market like. So I think at a certain moment I was only missing like 15 antiquities cards. And the only one that was really, really expensive in there was the Mishra's Workshop, of course. So I just waited and waited and waited. And when the prices dropped, I sold 2 cases of collector boxes of stuff like, what was it? Ikoria. Because I didn't buy it to invest, like I said. I never do. I think like, yeah, I'm gonna open that set because it's awesome, and I really loved Ikoria, but I bought way too much of it, which I probably would never open. And then I bought that one, and then I almost had a complete set. So yeah, it's a bit of timing, shifting, and first starting with the cheaper ones, and then the risk is not that high. If you see shit that doesn't work out, prices are skyrocketing, you can still be out without having spent too much money, and you have still a couple of nice cards you picked up for cheap.
Yeah.
What's the next
absolutely.
set you would want to collect?
Oh, I would actually really like to collect Onslaught. I love
Okay.
that set. And, I've been collecting all the fetch lands in the original Onslaught because I love the art and I think they're just really nostalgic to me also. But I just love the Onslaught set. I'm a great elf player and I love the elves. So Onslaught was a really special set to me because there were so many great elves in that set. So I would like to maybe complete that set at one point. That would be fun. And we do have
Nice.
quite a few of
Yeah,
the
yeah, we
cards.
actually do.
We actually have all the expensive cards, so
Yeah.
it would be just scooping up the
All
cheap ones.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also part of it because we've been playing for such a long time, like you have.
Yeah.
We tend to have at least some cards, so we have at least the beginning of a set.
Yeah, and often you have the playable cards, which
Yeah,
if you are a player as well, and those are normally more expensive. So you have the expensive cards out of the way. So if I look at, for example, Revised, normally shouldn't take me a lot of problems to complete it, and I probably want to do that pretty quickly because I have the dual lands, I have the more valuable cards like I said, the Vesuvian and the Fork and Brain Geyser and so on. Wheel of Fortune, of course, we shouldn't forget that one. That's a couple of $100. But I have these, so then it's just like the normal rares, and they are a couple of bucks each. So yeah, then you
That's
could
doable,
easily,
absolutely.
yeah,
And of course,
absolutely doable, just by having some old cards somewhere in a bulk box.
yeah, exactly. And also doing
We
this,
all should look at our bulk boxes.
Yeah.
yeah, but of course also sorcery.
Yeah, I think sorcery is
Yeah.
top priority now because we're down to only missing 4
Yeah.
cards, and the last 4
It-
we have to get them now because we
Is
just
it
want to have the full set.
definitely? Do you have the stone?
No
The
stone.
stone and the Death
That's
Dealer
hard.
and Aquamarine Core and
Oh,
what is the last one? The
Death.
Pathfinder. Those are the last.
Okay.
But yeah,
Aquamarine Core, Death Dealer, Pathfinder, and Philosopher's Stone. Okay, the prices have come down a bit.
A lot,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have that going for us.
Yeah, and
yeah,
we have a lead on a stone that someone might want
Yeah.
to sell us. So hopefully that's going to work out.
yeah. That would be awesome. A
But,
complete
but
alpha
again,
set
the
is
nice thing
fantastic.
is that we feel we have the time for it
Mm.
because I'm not running into another set any minute now. So we have
No.
time and we can just make it financially sustainable by not picking everything up at once, but just like we traded most of it, and over the next 2 months we're going to get the last of it.
Perfect. No,
That
but that's how it should be, and I
Yeah,
think that's the
exactly.
most fun.
Actually, it has
Yeah,
been really
no,
fun to collect the set because it's also really reminiscent of the old days of collecting Magic the Gathering, where we were just bicycling around town and trading with people. Because
yeah,
well, I think we had around half the set after having opened our boxes,
Yeah.
and the rest have been trades. So we've been trading with a lot of people from around the
nice.
world, and people have been really sweet and nice to work with, and just
Yeah, and
been a nice feeling.
it's awesome for the community, especially for a new game like Sorcery, that you can just connect with a lot of people. You get to
Yeah.
know a lot of people. I've stayed in touch with most of the people that I traded with. We're still, inquiring. Did you complete the set? Is there anything I can help you with? And just
Very cool.
chatting with a lot of people, and that's been really nice.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
very
get to know
cool.
a lot of people all over the world.
You should have documented that set completion. It's
Yeah.
good fun. Not only for the viewers, but for yourself as well. I sometimes look back at my videos completing antiquities and I enjoy them. Just like, oh yeah, that was when I got, I don't know, the Argivian archaeologist. Awesome. So,
Yeah.
no, but that would have been nice to watch. Maybe do it for the last 4 cards.
I think we will
That's,
do
yeah.
maybe would make an interview with the last 4 people that we buy or trade from. That would be fun to
yeah,
the
yeah,
story of completing it.
that would be awesome. And you opened like 3 boxes, right? Or 4 in the end because you
Four
bought
boxes.
another
Yeah.
one.
But we
And
ended
you
up
had half
getting
you,
really lucky. Really, really
yeah,
lucky. We got
but
a
you had
lot
half the
of
set with 4 boxes.
yeah.
That
And
that's similar to the old Magic the Gathering
yeah,
experience, to having a case and almost being able to complete the set. I think for Sorcery it would be like 2-3 cases, but then
yeah,
the uniques are a bit tricky still. But in the
Yeah.
end, I think with a case you can get pretty far, right?
yeah. And we were lucky that the duplication we had were highly tradable, so we could get cores and
Nice.
yeah. And then at the end, I think we made like 3 or 4 purchases. But most of it has just been trading.
Very cool. Yeah,
Very cool, very fun.
I think that that was definitely a fun experience looking at it. Only opened 3 boxes, but I enjoyed it very much, the
Yeah,
experience. So yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
no,
we're getting gameplay now, so it's a lot of fun. We're
yeah,
looking forward to
that
maybe you can join us on TTS and have a game.
yeah, I have tabletop simulator because I got way too many Steam games, but um problem of the gamer and the games industry guy. But I would like to learn the game, and I decided not to play with my alpha, and beta I ordered like 2 cases now. I hope I will receive that so I can play in person. I ordered new pre-constructed decks as well. I'm gonna leave one of the alpha sealed, and the other ones I'm just gonna keep with the different kind of avatars, of course, the non-foil ones, as part of the collection. But when when you can explain it to me. I just can pick the deck, you said, Jens, right? So
You can
yeah.
pick the deck. So it's just copy paste the Earl into the deck selector and just push a button and boop, you have the deck.
Okay, cool. No, but we have to find a moment, and
Yes.
I definitely want to learn it. And then hopefully you get your ass handed to you like you did last night.
I don't think so. It was bad. I think Josh is going to put it up on his page so you can watch it. It was really bad.
I will watch it, and I hope I will watch it once I've learned the game, so I can even appreciate that loss more.
Exactly. So I just have one final question.
Yeah.
Because we had a little talk before logging on that there are going to be people out there that were maybe 20, maybe 30 years old when Magic was released, and these people are around 50 to 60 now, and in a few years we're looking to see some of the old players maybe go into retirement. Do you think that's going to have some sort of effect on the availability of old Magic cards? Are they going to liquidate their collections? Are they going to sell, or are they simply going to put it into some sort of inheritance for their kids? What do you think would happen with these old collections?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think I think it very much depends on the situation. If my son continues to play with me, he's gonna get the cards. My daughter is not interested, not now, and she probably won't be. She likes the art, but yeah, it's just not her kind of thing. I normally what we share is stuff like Netflix and pop culture and whatever. And she liked the Stranger Things cards because she loves Stranger Things, but that's about it. But if I would continue to play with my son, I would leave it to him. And I think other Magic the Gathering players, old Magic the Gathering players, would do the same. I hear that from people actually on the channel and on Discord that, yeah, I'm going to give that to my kids one day. And I can appreciate that. I think what does more for the market is what Wizards of the Coast is doing, like we saw with the 30th anniversary edition, like trust, being betrayed, not being in line with the way the company deals with things. I think that adds more cards to the market than retirement or whatever. Because if you look at the current alpha stock on the market, it's very clear that a lot of the old players are out and a lot of the old collectors are out. Sometimes cards that were not available at all have 20, 30 copies available. And remember, alpha only has 1,000 copies of each rare. So it's not a lot. It's really 1,000 is nothing if you look at the grand scale. So yeah, I think if Wizards of the Coast continues to do that, that might be a problem. And then there's always people saying like, yeah, it doesn't matter anymore in 20 years because nobody's gonna grow up with the old cards. It's people still collect baseball cards from back in the day because it's part of the game, and that's how it started. People still collect old comics from back in the day. People still collect old toys from the 1900s or stamps or whatever. And of course, there's always an up and down in demand. But if a brand or something like baseball cards, comics, or whatever is still part of our pop culture, then the old Magic the Gathering cards will keep being worth something. So I don't think everything will be dumped on the market at a certain point. And then, yeah, that's the two scenarios I see, except for like somebody doesn't have any kids and you find it at a yard sale and you get those complete alpha and beta and unlimited sets for like $20. That's the dream everybody has, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why I still go to yard sales.
Yes, me too. Flea markets, like just checking around for old Magic the Gathering cards. But it's getting less and less at the moment since we have internet on our phones and everybody can check what the stuff is worth on eBay. Unfortunately.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't think the market will be flooded at a certain point if people are out. And the market is still very big, but the old collections are not that big. Alpha is 1,000 rares, beta is 3,000 rares. And I think unlimited is like 11,000 or something, 11 to 15. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Alpha and beta, I'm sure. Unlimited is somewhere like 11 to 15, I think. How many Magic the Gathering players do we have? Millions, tens of millions. Yeah. So yeah, like 1,000 rares, 3,000 rares, not a lot. Even if everybody would like retiring and dump it on the market at the same time, of course the prices would drop, which we see now with Alpha. But Alpha Rare that was like $1,000 a few months ago or a year ago before MTG 30 is now still 600-700. So if you bought in at 200, you're still up 500. So yeah. And again, not to invest, but just to answer your earlier question, Sophie, about like, is it safe to put money in there? In the end, nothing is safe, but looking at the trajectory of Magic the Gathering. Sorry?
And it's just saying it's safe if you love it. If you enjoy it, no matter what, then it's fine. But you do need to make sure that you're not overextending yourself or not buying too much at once, because then it becomes a problem if you need to get rid of it quickly again or something like that.
Hey, it's not liquid at all. I see that a lot. I collect a lot and I diversify a lot because I just like a lot of stuff. It's not that I purposely diversify, but you see it here. It's not only MTG. I have way too much stuff. My wife hates it, so I have to contain it to this room. And
but you should be lucky that she doesn't like it. We are two people who both collect. Imagine our house.
Yeah, no, I in that sense, definitely one partner that doesn't collect helps. But I sometimes try to sell things to make room for new things or to finance Magic the Gathering. At the moment, for the last couple of years, that's still the biggest passion, I have to say. So most of the money from the collection that goes into the collection again goes into Magic the Gathering, goes back into MTG, and it's not very liquid. It's try to sell a statue like this. There are people that want it, there are people that like it, but find them, it's not that easy. Same goes for board games, action figures, Dungeons and Dragons, comics, whatever. You always have to find that one person, and it's out there, or he or she is out there. But in general, liquidity is not something you can count on. So you indeed should never overstretch yourself when it comes to finances.
You need to have the patience and the liquidity to wait for the right person.
Yeah, and there are other priorities. I mean, you have the same. You have 3 kids. I have 2 kids. They are the priority. They need stuff. They grow up. It's very simple. They need new clothes. They need stuff for school. They need food. They need shelter. The house needs to be paid. The cars need to be paid so we can go to work and earn money. And it's all, of course, a big grind, which we all know. But these are the priorities. And for the holiday, the summer holiday, of course you could get yourself an expensive card for a couple of $1,000, but if you go with a family on holiday, that's much more worth, because it's memories with your family. And I know people who actually went like to a shitty camping so they could buy stuff. I hate that. So yeah, it's can't comprehend that you are not setting your priorities and your focus right. So I think that's a very important thing. But if you can, and if you enjoy it, and if you don't mind that it might be worthless at a certain point, then go for it and fucking enjoy it, because it's good fun.
Exactly.
All right, I think that might even be a nice last word for this video.
Fucking enjoy it.
Exactly, fucking enjoy it. That sounds good.
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, thanks a lot. I think it was a great discussion again. And are we going to do this again next time at your place?
Definitely.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, let's do that. That sounds like a good plan. Thanks a lot. And already, you still have to work tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I wish you a nice weekend already, because I'm off tomorrow. So for me, it's already weekend.
Nice.
Yeah,
So,
but I
yeah,
will,
you-
we will. I took off because we will drive to Germany over the weekend
Oh
to
yeah,
visit
I
the
remember you
family.
have
So
to
I might
drive.
even, yeah, very nice. I might even have a couple of matches self MTG with my brother. So that's always a fun thing.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
yeah, very cool. I think we got a little delay, do we? Somehow, maybe later in the video. In the beginning, I didn't have that. Okay, but still worked out fine. Let's hope I can deal with StreamYard as well as you can, and we got a nice video with this. So we'll see.
I
Thanks a
believe
lot,
so.
both. Yeah, I talk to you
Yeah,
next
me
time. Stay frosty.
Yeah.
Bye
Bye.
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 Nice talk.
Bye.